This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Mary Ann and Ginger, they both share the same island, but both are very different girls. The racetracks, Tsukuba and Suzuka, likewise share the same island and likewise are very different. Mary Ann, better take it slow, try to make a pass and she'll slap you. If last round at Tsukuba was like dating Mary Ann, then today's racetrack, Suzuka, is a date with Ginger. She's fast and making a pass, well, she's easy. Sit right back and watch a tale of several drivers trying to match the accomplishments of three-time season winner and points leader Robert Hartley. Because from the island of Japan and presented by Rikotech, it's round 8 of the Advanced Mazda's Cup 2019 winter season. And all the strength of field action from green flag to victory donuts comes your way live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. Konnichiwa, everyone, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast streaming your way on IESN. Nick Schmeg joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, to bring you our Words Eye view. Sean Ambrose has director duties, armed with cameras, locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Nick, my guess is your youth has you totally clueless about the Gilligan's Islands reference and the opening of the broadcast, but something I know you know a lot about, and that is today's venue. Tell us about the Origami Pretzel.
Hey, while you were reading that, I was actually proud of myself that I finally understood a reference that Soup made. As we take a look now, the first thing that you'll see when you look at the 2D track map of the Suzuka International Racing Course is the overlap of the circuit right in the middle. For those unfamiliar with Suzuka, don't worry, we're not racing on a figure-8 track tonight. Instead, there's enough elevation change here to where the track crosses a bridge over an earlier portion of the course. About a 4-hour commute from Tokyo, Suzuka has hosted several Formula 1, sports car, touring car, motorcycle races, as well as even a couple of non-points NASCAR events in the 1990s. Suzuka showcases 17 unique turns, many of which are deceiving to the drivers, spanning 5.8 kilometers or 3.6 miles. It takes all different skill sets to put together at least one lap around here. And speaking of one lap, let's send you down to the track for the GSRC lap guide.
Alright, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Suzuka. The front stretch is going to be a long blast in this car, so the draft may create passing opportunities, but the braking into 1 and 2 will definitely discourage guys trying to enter side by side. You might see a game of chicken into these corners a few times during the race. There's a lot of banking here in turn 2, so you'll really want to use it to carry your speed out towards the S's. But from here on out, your line is going to be critical. Each corner flows into the next, so getting offline will screw up your rhythm and be extra costly to your lap time. It should be single file through here after the first lap. Now, coming out of this last right-hander, you want to hug the right to get a nice launch into the Dunlop curve. If you hit it right, you'll be flat out all the way to Degner 1. Get it wrong, and you'll either have to lift or risk drifting into the dirt on the outside. Now, the Degner corners will be another place where I would not advise trying to enter side by side. It's just a little bit of braking, glance off the curb, and get it straightened for Degner 2. Once again, you've got a heavily cambered corner, so you can take more speed than you'd expect through here. From there, you've got a short time to relax before we hit the hairpin. This little right-hand kink before it can make the braking tricky and setting up a pass even trickier. But it's definitely one of the better passing spots on this very technical circuit. However, the most important part here is setting up your exit, because the blast around the long, gentle turn 12 will be full power the whole way. This is another spot where the draft may offer you an opportunity to close up and get a nose in on your competitor, especially if you're trailing them closely. It's also a bit safer to have a go since there's plenty of runoff around the outside of Spoon. This corner is another one that requires accuracy because it's really a double apexer. If you drift wide after the first part, say goodbye to your hopes of hitting the second apex. And just to add insult to injury, if you did miss it, you've got the backstretch to worry about. Without a good exit, the combination of the draft and the long run means the car behind you is probably going to be looking up the inside. If this happens, hope you've got some large stones, because now we're heading towards 130R. It's just the lightest of braking, hit your marks, and get back on the power through this fearsomely fast bend. But before you know it, you're now setting up for the Casio Triangle. Here is your last good place to try to overtake. It's probably the heaviest braking zone, but with the chicane there can still be some difficulties getting the job done, especially if the other guy is a good defender. Still, the exit's going to be important once again, because now we're dumped back on the pit straight, and you'll want every ounce of oomph the little Mazda engine can give you. As you come across the line, you've finished a lap around Suzuka.
And that video lap, as well as everything on this broadcast tonight, is sponsored by Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment, the most complete source for all sim racing hardware. They have it all, from starter kits and do-it-yourself plans to professional level gear and complete motion simulators. They can fabricate adapters, modification kits, and high-end hardware, in addition to carrying a complete line of specialty products from major brands. See it all at ricmotech.com.
And now let's go ahead and see it all. When we talk about the points, keep in mind that these points take into account 3 of the 4 drop races allowed for in the rules. Put it simply, it's the driver's best 4 of 7 results. Robert Hartley has won the first 2 races and then added 1 more last time out at Tsukuba. Travis Schwenke has a win. A pair of points behind Dory is the dish licker. Dries Nice in 3rd. Now Nice is still winless, but Mike Dam in 4th can boast a win at Mosport. Fellow Canadian David Baton rounds out the top 5 overlay. We're always picking up new viewers here on GSRC and IESN, so let's go back to Nick to talk about the race details.
Like we said earlier, the season, right now in the Advanced Mazda Cup, this is race number 8 of 12, back to the 25-minute race. So no pit stop required because we do have open setups. There is a fuel limit, but still you will be able to put enough fuel in to not require that pit stop. So this is an official iRacing points series, which is why you see there the incident cap of 17 for tonight.
There you have it. All right, the business is out of the way. Let's go to qualifying right now, where last week qualifying was really important at Tsukuba because passing was at a premium. Here, you just want to be somewhere in the train that's going to form up. Robert Hartley, no surprise, leading everybody right now as top qualifier. 2:23.092. It takes a long time to get around this place. Mike Dam right behind in second.
Yeah, it's a long track. One of the longest we'll be at all year in this series, and vastly different from last week at Tsukuba when it's such a short track. The only similarity those 2 tracks have, they're basically they're in the same country. That's basically the only similarity they have. But other than that, same competitors out there today, and qualifying, despite, like you said, having to get in the train and ride around here, definitely going to be important.
There are some good, as you saw the lap guide there that Joe Peak was kind enough to do for us. There are some great passing opportunities here, and even though these cars are a little underpowered for this place, Nick, it's still a fun track because there's plenty of twisty sections. You got the hairpin, and 130R is no laughing matter either.
Yeah, definitely not. A lot of these turns, like I said earlier, are very deceiving looking, especially a lot of them with a couple of blind corners in here. All of the turns here are really, really unique from each other. Not many repeats on this circuit. So these drivers really have to stay on their toes here.
This used to be a test track, so they wanted to make it a figure 8 so that there were basically an equal amount of right-handers and left-handers to get a good idea of what the car could do. And we are looking there at Clifford Even down there. A name we're not familiar. Still looking to put in a qualifying time. Heading down into the chicane here. It's a little tight left-righter, and then it's the sweeping right-hander off to the main straight where he'll put in a time. Let's see if Clifford was able to keep it clean and he can post one in. 10 drivers have put in time so far. And sure enough, hey, how about 4th?
Yeah, Clifford Eben up to 4th. Fernando Herrera up to 5th as soon as he said that. So a couple of newer names here as this series grows in popularity. David Paton just went to 2nd. Still a whole second back from Robert Hartley, though.
Yeah, they are starting to roll in right now. Here's the man from New Zealand, Gene Fittis. And this is 130R that he's coming up to right here. That's not the left-hander. Scary in any car. Then to the chicane. This is a passing zone here too. They can duck inside, get a run through here. We'll see passing, and there's plenty of opportunity. We've seen many a car come out side by side for this, what they call the last curve. Qualifying is done. Fittest did not get a time in. Let's go to the grid right now. 18 names to mention. Robert Hartley leads them all. He's going to be inside of David Paton on row 1. Mike Dam and George Fike make up row 2. In the 5th and 6th spot, it is Clifford Ivan and Fernando Herrera in the 6th position. 7th and 8th, the man from Japan, Atsushi Mieda and John White go in the 8th position. Row 10, Konomiwa and Hironi Kobayashi.
And right behind there, row 6 going to be made up of Cesar Pallavicino to the inside of Derek Holland. Matt Busa, he's going to be turning left and right tonight. He in the 2 car, he's starting 13th with Gene Fittish to his outside. Joey Baloof and Travis Wallace. Some big names back here going to make their way up to the field, followed by Matt Morris and Daniel Ramirez.
A couple big names farther down that you mentioned, didn't put in time. Gene Fittis and Joey Buffet down there. We expect to see him higher. Travis Wallace as well down the order. It's going to be fun to watch those guys come up through the field. A lot of home cooking here on this Japanese track. It's Atsushi Mieda and Hironi Kobayashi and also Kotomiwa. 3 drivers hailing out of Japan. Going to race here on one of their home tracks. Good to have them here. All this going on behind the man who has been dominating the series, Robert Hartley. His point lead's been beginning to shrink a little bit, and that's because GSRC starts to take drop races into account starting at lap number 5, so it's hard for drivers to increase their points. Robert Hartley just having to keep wiping away his slower results. He's on the pole right now. Oh, you can hear the engine start to harmonize. Time to get round number 8 underway. Yeah, they're at the chicken steak. Cover me on the cows because the horses are out of the barn, and it is indeed no surprise to see Robert Hartley up there in car number 1 leading the way. David Paton in second, Mike Dam, Jordy Fike, and it looks like Fernando Herrera is going to round out your top 5.
A lot of them up front get single file through turn 1, but be careful through the S's here. They really want to get single file through there, especially on the first lap. Not much grip through there on the first lap, let alone any of them.
John White picks a position and moves up into 6th. The back half of your top 10, Clifford Even, Kotomiwa, Atsui Mieda, and the last car back there, Cesar Pallavicino.
Good, clean start for everyone so far. Everyone just trying to get in line here as the draft starts to form. You mentioned that big freight train they're going to be winding their way through.
The technical session, and now they're going to go down into the first really good passing zone, this hairpin, as they go beneath the overpass. On their way first to it is Hartley. This is where they can bog up. You can see mistakes happen down here so far. Single file all the way in. Look at this, Nick. No passing attempts, really. A little bit of guys who are caught on the outside. Derek Holland's going to lose position, but pretty much they go single file through the hairpin.
Yeah, clean and calm so far to start this race, Soup. And, everyone just trying to get their tires warmed up. Really easy to lose control, getting back on the gas so hard there. And these guys are going to get more and more aggressive, getting on the brakes late and getting on the gas early there in that hairpin.
They call 13th spoon. They negotiate that. It's kind of a double apex corner, and now down the backstretch. Hartley, Paton, you can see some passing here. Look at this. I see Mike Dam looking on the back of Paton for second position. Let's see if he's going to make the move before they get into 130R. Is he going to duck inside? No, he's going to wait. There is a pass, though, as back in 5th position, Fernando Herrera and John White are going at it.
We do see a lot of, drafting on those straightaways, like the backstretch here at Suzuka in this series, in this car. But when you're going down into the 130R, that is just such a terrifying place to possibly be side by side. So I don't know what kind of opportunities we're going to see there tonight.
Hartley gets credit with leading lap number 1. Now there's a really fun battle back here in 8th position. In fact, here he comes right now on the inside. This is Cesar Pallavicino. Making the move on the inside. He gets inside of Kotomiwa. And also take an opportunity to duck in there as well as Matt Busa. So Mio loses 2 positions, 8th to 10th in the blink of an eye.
Matt Busa, one of those guys that did not put a qualifying time up. And Matt Busa having a great day. He found out earlier today he's going to be racing with Williams Esports in the eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series later this year.
That is good news. Congratulations for him. Looking at Busa right now in 9th position. He's being hounded. Back there making, I'm sorry, he's working on the back of Pallavicino there. And he's going to get that spot. Busa up one more. Move him up into 8th. That is 5 spots so far.
Busa, a very renowned oval racer here on the iRacing service. Don't see him too much on the road courses, but he's letting us know here early that he definitely knows how to get it done.
Boy, it is a dogfight back here. This is Travis Wallace. Remember, Wallace didn't put in a qualifying time. He's leading a 3-car pack. Kobayashi is in there as well. Gene Fittis watching from the 3rd car in line. They continue to race. That's Fittis you're looking at. Up in front, Wallace as they go into Spoon right now. And it looks like Fittis is going to be able to get around Kobayashi. Derek Holland back in that mix. Matt Morris back there. Joey Boulafay, another fast driver. There you see Boulafay in that striped car right on the back of Morris as they come at you. And now Boulafay weaving left, leaving right. Working both sides of the road like a jaywalking mailman. On board with Fittis. Looking ahead at Travis Wallace. Great racing going on for 11th.
And we were talking earlier, right when we saw them not put up a qualifying time, people like Travis Wallace and Gene Fittis, going to be very fun to see them make their way through the field. And fun indeed it has been to see them make their way up through the field so far.
Up front, it is Robert Hartley, who's opened up a 0.6 second lead on David Patton. I'm a little bit worried here that Hartley might be able to race away from this one. Mike Dam is in 3rd.
Yeah, we don't see that too often here, do we, Soup? Drivers, leaders especially, being able to get away here. There might be, a few S's enough at this track, so that's a possibility. Even the top 4, you look back, you have Patton, Dam, and Fike. They're not really nose to tail as we've seen the leaders in a line have been before in this series.
Hartley's qualifying time was a full second faster than David Patton. Yes, it's a long way around here, a lap at 2:23. Nevertheless, a full second is pretty big. Look at this battle that we're looking on here. Here's the guy on the move. We're looking at Herrera, but Busa is coming. We talked about him already up, 6 spots now as he's up into 7th. Working on Herrera.
Good passing opportunity here. He's not going to take it, but everyone kind of shrinks up together there and then expands when they get on the gas. And Busa right there on Herrera, going to be able to get a big draft here, it looks like.
Riding on board with Matt right now.
Duck to the inside. That track really gets narrow through there.
But he makes it work. Gets another spot and coming along with him. Careful there. Going really, really wide, and he loses it. That's Herrera. He catches Pallavicino as well. They make contact.
That was just a chain reaction. Wrong time for Pallavicino to be there.
Herrera got caught out in the AstroTurf Nick and thought he was going to save it, and then when he lost it, he came in and got the tail of Pallavicino. He almost got through there.
Yeah, just barely nicked Pallavicino, and I'm sure even he thought he might have gotten away from that one, and last second got turned there.
So an opportunity for the drivers behind the vulture of few spots. We come back live. Robert Hartley, 1.5 seconds up on Mike Dam now. Now Dam has got around David Patton. Mike tired of waiting.
Yeah, Mike Dam got the big run coming downhill onto the front stretch there and was able to make it work. He stretched it all the way to the inside retaining barrier and got the pass done, and he is up to 2nd now. But that battle there for 2nd has allowed Jordy Fike to close in just a little bit on these guys.
Good battle for 2nd. Dam, Baton, and then we're on the nose with Fike. Looking ahead, the two cars in front of them, Baton and Dam. Those three cars begin to lose touch with Robert Hartley, both on the track and in the points.
These were three guys earlier we talked about maybe separating, but not looking like they want to separate from each other right now.
Time of day about 4:30, virtual standard time. Sun low in the sky. Let's drop back to 5th position. This is John White and Matt Busa. Busa now has lost a spot when that little spin that was happening up front. Busa already got around White already once. He's going to try to do it again. They head down into Spoon. Let's stay on this a bit. We've been jumping you around. Let's let you enjoy a little bit of racing here. As I expect Busa to get this pass made either going into 130R, which is that sweeping left-hander coming up, or make a stab at it down into the chicane, 15th, 16th. Let's see how it plays out. A little far back right now, Nick.
Yeah, and man, when I saw Matt Busa on the entry list for this event tonight, I knew he'd be fast, but coming from 13th up to 6th, battling for a top 5 position, not even 10 full minutes in as he swings it wide there and has to catch it, but still really fast, really dominant looking here early on.
Does not get that done. Behind him, I can report that Cotto Mio was able to get around Clifford even. So Mio now up into 7th. And now here comes Busa. He's going to make a run at him down into 1. And not even a protest by White. Waves him by. He might have caught a clip of a car coming out of pit lane. That was Fernando Herrera, who came in to get some repairs done, trying to pick up whatever iRacing points he can.
And Busa is quickly closing in on Jordy Fike right now for 4th.
Yeah, remember, Fike was right on the back of Dam and Baton. He's lost touch with them. So Busa looking to get one more spot. Nice run from Matt. All this going on behind Robert Hartley, who's now opened up a 3-second. We'll look at Bob right now. With this track being so big, I don't think lap traffic is going to come and play in effect here. I think the only thing that's going to stop Robert Hartley from getting the win is some type of mistake that he'll make on his own. You see him there in this white and black machine.
Just out for a Sunday cruise there at the top of the board right now.
That gap. Well, last time I just told you it was 3 seconds. I look at it again, 3.4. That's what happens when you're a second faster in qualifying than your competition. Now we look back at Fike. Here he comes, Nick. Busa is there. Let's see where he wants to make the move. Last time, Nick, he didn't do it. He waited all the way through 130R, through the chicane, did it going into 1. Let's see if he does it this time as well.
Yeah, Robert Hartley might be on a Sunday cruise, and if Busa's on a Sunday drive, he's driving a Formula 1 car right now because he is trying to really slice and dice his way up to the field. Already looking at 4th right here, and yeah, he waited all the way till the last second of the last one. Looks like he's going to get it done there pretty easily as he has his sights set on the podium now.
Yeah, it was much closer coming out of Spoon that it really wasn't an issue. Fike down into 5th. Busa now up into 4th.
Oh, trouble
up
up
in 2nd position. Uh-oh! Baton with a mistake. And I probably, fans of Baton are probably not going to like my comment as a mistake, because he got a little assistance there from Mike Dam.
Looks like they were really close coming into the final chicane there already, and I think just a little bit late on the brakes there was Mike Dam, or a little bit early for Baton. I couldn't quite tell, just really close racing.
Let's go ahead and
a little bit of a tap.
Let's stay on this, Director, because after they come through here, by the time Dam gets on track, he's going to lose a spot to Busa. There you can see Busa coming up, and Busa picks up another spot. In fact, he works on that's Busa also gets on Dam, so Busa picks up 2.
How about that? Matt Busa up to 2nd, just like that.
Dam and Baton got together. That let Busa capitalize. He said, "Thank you very much, boys." So he moves into 2nd, Dam in 3rd, Jordy Fike in 4th as he was able to get around Paton, who's fallen back to 6th. That's John White behind him. So nice racing now for 2nd.
Hey, Busa's got 12 minutes. Hartley might want to start driving with 2 hands on the wheel here because, hey, who knows? Busa might be coming.
5.8 is that interval. 9th position right now we're looking at. Let's go. We'll go up to Fittis in 7th position. That's where we want to take you. Fittis and Evan here.
Looks like Fittis just recently got around Evan for that position.
Remember, that was one of the big names that we saw didn't put in a qualifying time. We expected him to get through the field, and I think we're going to be able to show you this one as we'll go back and take a look at Fittis. Getting around Evan right now. Fittis qualified in 14th, Evan in 5th. We'll take a look at it. Oh, we've got it right here. Here he comes.
Oh. Looks like he'll just be able to cruise on by there. And while that was happening, something happened to David Paton. He's off track. Looks like he was sliding and just lost it under his own control. So more problems for David Paton falling back through the field.
After the contact, we'll take a look at the replay. After the contact with Dam, things have really gone south. It looks like this is Spoon where this happens. And he's going to lose spots. By the time he gets around, he loses to Fittis. Miata gets around him. Here we are. That's pretty. So things really going south for David as he's now back into, I think, will it be about 12th position now.
If you're going to do some drifting in any country, Japan's the one to do it, but I'm not sure if that's that Paton still wanted that to happen here.
That's a good point. Let's go to 2nd. Busa and Dam. Now, these guys are quick. Dam qualified 3rd. Of course, Busa, we watched him do what he does. Not able to run away from these guys like he was doing when he was picking up spots for 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, not quite yet. Much more of a challenge here for Busa to have to pull away from these guys. And after all of these guys got it settled down behind them, Dam, Fike, and John White there, all being able to stay in line here nicely so far.
White's been a quiet race for him. Qualified 8th, up 3 spots in the 5th. Good 4-car battle here.
Big braking zone there. No one making any moves there. John White did get really close to the back of Fike there, but not enough power down out of that turn to be able to make a move here, I don't think.
Hey, Nick, why don't we take this opportunity to pay some bills and go to our Trip and Drees back marker shout-out. Looks like the last car on the lead lap, maybe Atsushi Maeda?
It would appear that way in the 12th car. One of the hometown people, Atsushi Maeda, started 7th back to 15th. Looks like he has some damage on the front of that number 12 Mazda MX-5, and things going south for him so far. And another person that has had things go south for them is the person ahead of him in the 14. Have a little bit of a battle, actually, for 13th between Cesar Pallavicino trying to close in on Derek Holland. Remember, Pallavicino was the one that got tagged earlier in an accident, and I believe that was with Fernando Herrera, and he's back here in 14th, but working on Derek Holland here for 13th.
Let's stay on this a minute. I think he's going to get this pass made.
I think so. He was all the way back earlier when that incident did happen, but he's able to salvage this so far for a much more decent result.
And there you go. Trip and D's back marker shout out. Now let's look at Patton here. I think he just got overtaken, if I'm looking at this right. I think Kobayashi. Oh, there's a nice battle up in front. Can we go up to... Let's go up one spot. This is to 10th. This is Boulafay and Kobayashi in a nice little battle.
We've seen Boulafay. I think he just got by Kobayashi. Looks like we might go to the replay here to see that.
Take a peek at this one. Here it comes.
This was him breaking into the top 10.
Look at them work as they head towards the Ferris wheel.
If you don't think they're fighting hard for these spots further back in the field, think again.
Well, I got a good one for you. Let's go to 7th. This is Clifford Even in a nice battle with Travis Wallace. Wallace, another one of the drivers who was expected to do better. Didn't put in a qualifying time. Worked his way, started in 16th. Let's cut that in half.
Wallace, your round 5 winner this year at Road Atlanta, started 16th tonight and working his way up. He was in that pack back with Busa and Fittis, who did not set a qualifying time, trying to work their way up. And Fittis and Busa are both ahead of Wallace, but Wallace still cutting in half, going from 16th to 8th so far. Looking at 7th here on the inside. Looks like he'll be able to squeeze through there.
Oh, glad we could show you that one. Good racing going on back there. You're not missing anything up front. Well, let me take that. Let's go to 2nd right now. Bite my words here. Is Mike Dams making a move on Matt Busa? Mike's going to shut it down and wait a little bit.
Yeah, they're not letting him get away quite yet.
Through the sweeping left-hander, now down in the chicane, but then there's a good opportunity here. If Dam can get a good run through the last corner now. Oh, he has a pretty good run. Let's see if he pushes the issue into corner number 1. He's about a half car. Oh, what interesting racing line. As Dam takes it really wide. Not going to get much of a toe out there. Car length back. A half car length back. Nose to tail, and he waits.
Mike Dam, earlier in the race, lap 2 or 3 it was, when he was battling David Patan for 2nd place, used that exact same line to his advantage. Couldn't quite get it done on Matt Busa there, as Busa really had quite the slide through there, but able to defend P2 right now.
These guys rate 8 minutes behind the leader, Robert Hartley. Good racing for 2nd. Another nice battle right behind him. White and Fike going at it.
John White able to move up into that 4th spot. Fike was holding that for the longest time there.
If you're enjoying what you're seeing, remember, for over a decade, iRacing has been at the vanguard of esports racing. And if you haven't done so yet, you can join the iRacing community and compete against thousands of players in the world's most realistic racing simulation. The best of the best in iRacing's World Championship, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. Look at this battle we're looking at right there. Some good racing. Even though Robert Hartley has really been stinking up the show, this race has not been short of action.
We were talking earlier, these drivers were going to take that hairpin there more and more aggressively, and Mike Dam really had to go off track there to keep his momentum up, trying to keep Matt Busa in check here, and that allowed John White to really close in on him.
Those 3 guys are now together. Looks like the sheriff, Jordy Fike, not able to stay in the posse that is hunting down Hartley. And here comes a pass right now. Dam going to look to the left side, and I think he's going to get this done. He'll be on the preferred position through 130R. But don't give up on Busa yet.
Yeah, and Dam's going to get that done before he even gets to 130R. It's through the chicane here, and he's going to be able to hold that spot, I think. In fact, it looks like he pulled away from Busa just by a couple of tenths there.
And he starts to drive away now. Busa just coming across the line right now, about a second behind. 2 to go. John White in 4th. Jordy Fike falling off the pace back there in 5th. Boulafay had a nice little battle, being hunted down by Hironori. I'm going to get this first name right. Hironori Kobayashi. The syllables in Japanese are not hard. There's just a lot of them. This battle going on with Joey Boulafay. Oh, hey Nick, Busa not giving up on oh wait a minute, White has made the move on Busa.
Yeah, John White able to get around him, but Busa was not too pleased with himself for that one. Looks like we're going to go to the replay now to see that one.
There must have been a mistake by Busa, I would guess.
I think so.
Yeah, total connection with yeah. He was on the tail of Dam, and he just had an off.
Yeah.
And then, so Busa makes a mistake, opens the door for White to get around him. Busa would like to get that back, and all of a sudden that brings Jordy Fight back into the mix. That's how the Sheriff races. He just does not make a mistake. He waits for stuff to happen in front of him, and if the opportunity's there, he will take it.
How about John White coming in here with the number 17 I rating out of 18? What a day for him to be able to get up here into a podium position.
Yeah. Strength of field of 34.58. That's pretty good. Boy, look at here comes Busa. Boy, he's working on him. No, that's not a racing line to take.
Got to take up all the track there and go off a little bit. Busa kind of under pressure from Jordy Fike now, though. He's got to be careful. He's lost second and third. Doesn't want to lose fourth.
There's only 0.8 of a second up to Mike Dam. I'll be surprised. Look at this. John White's making a run for second. Hartley gets the white flag. Almost 10 seconds ahead of the stuff going on behind him. Dam now.
Mike Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big gap there for Mike Dam. This is going to be his fourth podium finish of the year. Should he be able to hang on to this one? And John White under all sorts of pressure right now from Matt Busa. Matt Busa really wants that third step.
The interval now almost 0.7 of a second for White to Dam. Busa is racing the wheels off of that machine, trying to find a way around. Fike not able to stay with him. We're going to take a quick peek at our leader. Where is he? Well, he's heading down into the hairpin, going beneath the overpass right now. Now we go back to the Busa battle. White has lost a little ground to Dam. Busa with a good run out of Degner. Now he's looking at him.
Oh, the crossover. He's going to go back to the inside here and just almost stick his nose there. White's going to be able to get on the power a lot faster, I think. It's going to make it even harder here for Busa.
White might be close enough to be in a tow and make a stab at Dam on this very last lap. Our leader going through Spoon right now. We don't need to go there yet. We'll tuck in on our leader right as he goes through the chicane to call the finish. Then we'll jump back to second and see how these guys play out. They are 10 seconds behind. Dam, a half second up on White. White driving with one eye looking forward and one eye in the rearview mirror watching Busa. Hartley is just in the back straight, heading to 130R. He won the opening round. He won round number 2, then he took a little time off. He goes through 130R. Meanwhile, Busa on the back of White. I'm just calling one eye here, one eye there. Hartley out of the final corner. Coming across, let's get Robert Hartley. His 4th win of the season here at Suzuka. Back to the battle. Out of the chicane. It is White all over the back of Dam. I think he's going to run out of time. Busa's not an issue. They come to the finish line, and sure enough, Mike Dam holds off John White for 2nd position. White settles for 3rd. Busa gets 4th. Jordy Fike gets 5th. Fitness is comfortable. They're all coming across in single file now. Let's jump back to 8th position. This is Cesar Pallavicino. Under attack from Derek Holland. It's going to finish in that order. Last car on the lead lap is going to be Atsushi Maeda as he works his way through the chicane right now, coming out of the final corner. 15 cars on the lead lap. The racing is over here in Japan. Our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break, then we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Stay close. You're watching GSRC on IESN. Bringing cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Advanced Mazda Cup Straight to Field event, round number 8 from Suzuka. Let's give you the finishing order right now. He started on the pole with a qualifying time a second faster than anybody else, and it is Robert Hartley who picks up his 4th win of the season and increases his point lead. Mike Dam, try as he might, could not run him down, but he was able to hold off John White for second. White settles for the final podium spot. Matt Busa made a great run, 13th to 4th. It was fun to watch. One mistake might cost him a podium position. The Sheriff, Jordy Fike, rounds out your top 5. The back half of your top 10, Gene Fittis goes 14 to 6th. Travis Wallace, 16 to 7th. Both of those guys did not put in qualifying times, but they worked their way through the field. Clifford Eben is going to come home in 8th. Joey Boulafay up into 9th. Rounding out your top 10, the Japanese driver, Kota Miwa. Nick?
Behind Miwa by 1 second in 11th, it's going to be Hironori Kobayashi in the 8 car, followed by David Patan, who started second place outside front row and just fell back earlier. Had 2 separate incidents that really made him struggle today. And Cesar Palavicino behind them, another one that got tagged up in some incidents, followed by Derek Holland and Atsushi Maeda in 15th. And then 7 laps down, Fernando Herrera is going to finish tonight in 16th. 8 laps down, Matt Morris in 17th. Daniel Ramirez going to be 18th, rounding out your field.
All right, I have the honor and pleasure to talk with our race winner as soon as we bring him in. Here we go, and it is Robert Hartley. Again, I'm going to be hard-pressed, Bob, to come up with a question for you. You got out in front, and you just drove away.
Yeah, Suzuka's one of my favorite tracks. I put in some practice this week, and definitely paid off.
You know, I've done a lot of broadcasts here in the MX-5s at this track. I don't think I've ever seen anybody just break the draft, and then it was Katie bar the door from there. Did the weather, it just felt good for you? You had no problem, no issue?
Yeah, the weather was perfect, nice and cool, sunny, so it was still fast down the straightaways.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's put this one behind. I'm going to see if I can get a little inside information. Donington Park, we're at the big circuit, I believe. What's your take there? How do you feel about that?
It's a little bit more of a challenge for me. Don't feel as comfortable at Donington as I do at Suzuka, but as long as I put into practice, we should be good to go.
All right, well, you have been putting in the practice. This is your 4th win this season. You're looking good in the points. Congratulations. We'll watch you down the road.
Hey, I just want to say thanks for y'all for putting on the broadcast, and Jordy Fike for making most of this happen, and Rick Motec for being a sponsor to us as always.
Absolutely, and they're already starting talks about seeing if we can get this to go for a second season, so if you don't know about it, go ahead and get in touch with Jordy, and let's see if we can bring you guys back for a sophomore run. Your winner today, Robert Hartley. All right, Nick, you got somebody?
I do. Jordy Fike going to be able to bring it home in a top 5 position tonight. And Jordy, we saw you just be able to hold on to that lead train of cars minus Robert Hartley, I say. Talk me through that whole race, just following those guys there and keeping in touch with them.
I was just trying to represent for every driver that's ever been mentioned in Soup's back marker shout out. I don't know. Apparently, there's the email that goes out every week that tells everybody who's supposed to be up front and who's supposed to be in the next pack back. And I didn't check my email this week and didn't get the memo, so I just decided I'd go ahead and give it a shot. And I don't know. I guess I favor this track. It's I like the flow, and I was just like you said. Most of the time, if I didn't make mistakes, I could run right with him. I made one mistake, and John got by. He made no mistakes. He was, I think, the best of the 4 of us there. He just got a little unlucky for not getting second, but we had a great battle. I hope we put on a good show. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, a couple of unique tracks, Tsukuba, and then here to Suzuka. 2 unique tracks for these guys, and we're getting out of Japan. We're headed over to Europe, Donington. We talked briefly with Robert just now about Donington. How you feeling going into there next week?
So that's a track I love and that I'm absolutely horrible at. I imagine it'll probably end up being one of my drop weeks. I'll have fun, but that extra, the GP layout, that extra hairpin, I'm just as lost as somebody. I'm a kid in the corn maze. I have no idea what I'm doing every single time I go through that corner. It's a new adventure, but we'll have fun. And that's a track where I think it's the draft. Sure, there's always draft with this car, but that's really going to separate the drivers out in that track because I think that's very much driver's track, and I'm almost kind of hoping we might get some challenging weather to kind of make it even more so.
A track that you love, and a track that you're not good at. I've never related more to any sentence someone's said before. So as we are getting closer to the end of the season, any last couple of thank yous you want to give before we let you go here tonight?
Oh yeah, most definitely. All this happens because a lot of people did a little rather than one person doing a lot. And Trip Smith, Dries Nice, Richard Losber, and Chris Thorman all made significant contributions to help make this possible. And again, want to just one more time thank Frank Rico at Ricmotech for all he does. He does so much for the sim community in a lot of different places. You see his name everywhere, and he never hesitates to help out. And also just wanted to make an announcement that I feel confident to say, because we're already halfway there with what it should take for us to do this again next season, that we can pretty much commit at this point to saying that we're going to broadcast as long as you guys will have us. We'll be doing this in season 2, in another 5 or 6 weeks here.
That is awesome news, and I will be one of many viewers, of course, to be tuning into that one, because the 8 races we've had so far are going to be very exciting. Get 12 more next season, going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yep, with what's going on. I mean, today, I don't know if anybody watched the draft, but they literally had a draft for the best oval pro drivers today with esports teams with names you'd recognize from NASCAR. $100,000 involved in that project. And then there's the Spec MX-5 that drives the NC cars that we all know John Allen was part of. The Real Life Series is sponsoring a league coming up. And the other night we ran in a league, and an SCCA official stopped by to see what was going on. So I kind of feel like we're all on the cusp of something special, and I feel really fortunate to be involved with all this.
Lots of awesome things happening in the iRacing esports industry right now. Well, we're going to let you go for tonight, Jordy. Thank you for stopping by, and definitely be able to see you on the track next week at Donington.
Thanks, guys.
Jordy Fike, a nice top 5 finish for him today. And just to mention to Jordy that this commentator is not above plagiarism, a kid in a cornfield going into my repertoire. GSRC would like to thank everybody in the Advanced Mazda Cup community, especially the sheriff who we just talked to, Jordy Fike, for supporting this broadcast. And of course, the good guys at Ricmotech. On screen now are just some of the equipment and software that we use to stream cyberspace into your place. The original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. Hey, you're watching a GSRC production. Comes courtesy of Eric Edholm and June Lalonde. See the screen to have to contact each of them. The Advanced Mazda Cup returns next week for round 9. Another 25-minute no-pit sprint from Donington Park Racing Circuit. We talked about it. GSRC via IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. The next IESN broadcast is the Grand Prix Legends. That's going to be round 8 from Road Atlanta. Who's doing that one? How about Joe Peak and Johan Vanderbilt, one of the best teams in sim racing broadcasting, calling that action. They go live Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Sliding across your screen right now are some of the upcoming GSRC broadcasts, so check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. I bet you want more information about GSRC. Well, let me tell you how to do it. Go to globalsimracingchannel.com, or I'll give you 3 more options. How about Twitter, GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and if that's not enough, how about Instagram at GSRC_Gram. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Nick, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as Robert Hartley picks up his 4th win of the season here at Suzuka. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.